Have you got a favourite TV programme or book that you're reading?
Yes, I do.
And I do too. And that's what we're going to be chatting about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the
Us
English Sisters.
And there's some exciting news because you can now text the show. So you can text Get Real with the English Sisters. Just go on your app, the app wherever you're listening. And underneath in the description at the top, you'll find text the show, and you can text us and we will receive a text and answer you and read it.
Yeah, great.
Really
yeah,
happy.
We will be indeed.
So that's very
So
exciting.
it's like a direct connection with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll be right. Yeah, we're going to be talking about not just our favourite television shows and the ones in the past that we used to watch or whatever, but the surprising effects that actually delving into this imaginary world, what it can actually have and teach us in our real worlds, which is something that you wouldn't really expect, would you?
Well, you think, a lot of us think, well, I do sometimes, but not really, because I'm quite selfish in that respect. But
What do you mean?
like if I'm binging on a TV show, sometimes I think I
Yeah.
should be doing something else, but not really, because I don't really do that.
What's
I
that
don't
got to
feel
do with being
guilty.
selfish, though? I don't understand.
Because it's like, I think I should be like working or doing something different, and it's like just me time.
Well, who cares?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
like,
obviously.
I'm binging on it. Like I'm not watching 4
Oh,
or
right.
5
You
or
should
6.
be doing something
and I
else.
might even think I should be going to bed, because it's like and normally I go to bed at midnight, and it's past midnight, and I'm still watching another episode of some favourite show I'm watching.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Yeah, that can be an issue with me as well. But yes, obviously we have to have some control on that, because there are those shows that they have those cliffhangers, and then you just
they've all
want.
got them.
Well, not all of them.
Most.
Some of them, they don't have them, but a lot of them do.
Now I've just been watching Bridgerton again, because the new season probably
Right,
come out.
yeah.
and
That was cute.
I wanted to rewatch it and and I got hooked onto it.
Again.
But it was a beautiful world, though. The costumes.
Yes. That's quite relaxing,
does
isn't
make
it?
me dream.
Does it? Like the English gardens and the teas and
I mean,
everything.
it's very inspiring, all the sets and everything, with all the cakes.
Yes, yeah. What?
And the dresses and the lifestyle they had.
And do you know what you can learn from some of these TV shows that are like historic? Is that the slower passing of time. Because you'll see the setting where the ladies and the gentlemen are in these rooms, and things are like the things are slower. Even in those kind of TV shows, they look as if they're slower compared to our normal lives.
They're doing nothing, aren't they? They're not on their iPad.
Exactly, they're not on their own.
iPhones,
No.
or on their phones or computer.
No, they're just like looking after the world. Rather a nice day, isn't it today? Maybe I'll take a pleasant walk. And then
Will you join me for a walk?
will you join me for a ride? And then they might be going outside, and you can just see images of them looking at the grass and the wind blowing in their hair. And it's kind of like a reminiscence of a past life that we all used to have.
Well, I don't know about all of us. The well off.
Well,
used to
no,
have it,
no,
because
not
the other
that.
ones-
No, I mean a walk. A walk is something that we could.
But how many people could benefit from walks when they had to work in the workhouses and that?
Well, yeah, obviously they weren't. It was a privilege that could go for a
Those are
pretty
the
little
pretty
walk.
rich
Yes.
people.
Yes, but I imagine even in the country, I suppose no, because in the countryside you're
Well,
working hard.
One day they had.
Yeah, to get
Sunday.
the potatoes out of the
The
earth.
Sunday they had off. Where they
Yeah,
would
but-
promenade.
Promenade. There you go. Yeah. So, but anyway,
But anyway, yeah.
no matter whatever show it was, I mean, I'm rewatching that Star Trek show, The Enterprise.
I think you have discussed that.
I have I? Because it's where they go and they go and investigate all the different planets.
Yes.
And with all the different creatures of these planets and the extraterrestrial inhabitants. But you know what? You think, am I wasting my time watching this? No, I'm not. Well, I might be, but what the whole point of this podcast is that when we do watch or read books, even the written word is even more
powerful.
Yeah, because you will go into this imaginary world and you can learn from it more than what you would sort of think you learn
Well, you
from
think
it.
you're just being entertained, don't you? You don't
Yes.
think you're learning.
But you are learning. You're learning how to empathise with other people, with the poor Bridgerton girl or whatever, and all her happenings and her love life, etc. And you go into that world. Thus, you're empathising. You're caring about somebody.
And you'll experience the feelings, won't you, for the person?
You do.
So they're real feelings, even though it's not you actually there.
It's through empathy, through empathizing with the personalities and the TV characters or the book personas. So what are they called?
Protagonists, you mean?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the book, the people in the book. You know, the protagonists. Is that what they're called? Yeah, the main characters.
Are the
Yeah.
protagonists. That is already quite a posh word.
Yes. And we're going back in time, aren't we? Here, you started off with that TV show.
Now in China.
Oh yes, and
I never use those China cups, do you? The little tiny ones. When we go to England, sometimes, but I do prefer a mug.
well, I think drinking tea out of a little china cup is kind of special,
We've
though,
got
isn't
them
it?
at home, but we never use
Do you know
them.
why? Because they're too small. If they have the china
We
mugs,
don't make them in the teapot anymore, do we?
no.
I think that's a problem. Because if we made a big pot of tea
With
you
loose
had to have
tea.
3 or 4.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't have that. You could use tea bags.
Oh right, yeah, okay. No, because actually the loose
As
tea
long as you've got
variety
the
is
pot.
really quite
Oh,
nice.
yeah,
yeah,
that's delicious. But
and it does taste
can't be
lovely.
bothered with all those tea leaves.
No,
But you could read the tea leaves at the end afterwards. They do read them, people.
really. Yeah, well,
In England, they do it.
do they? Yeah, I suppose it's here.
They like tell your fortune from them, don't they?
I don't know. Do they? Yeah.
Apparently.
Well,
I've never had it done, but
really.
I think my
I thought that was from coffee leaves, but no, you're right. It's a
coffee,
tea
yeah, it
leaves.
could be
Yeah,
coffee in Italy.
the coffee like
In Italy, it could be.
maybe. Yeah,
Because they didn't drink much tea before. Now they drink more. But
not really.
they
Here
do
in
it.
Italy,
Tea
if you-
time now. At 5 o'clock, some people do have tea now.
very rare. Come on.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, if you say, "Would you like a cup of tea?" they say, "Oh no, thank you. I'm not sick." That's a very common.
I've actually seen a lot of people in Rome have tea.
Really?
Yeah. At 5.
Maybe green tea and all these more modern teas have popped up.
They do. They don't have milk tea.
No, definitely not milk tea. Anyway,
The
yeah.
mind is amazing because it
The mind
creates
is amazing.
scenarios for you. As you read, you're actually having to create pictures in your mind, and this is what we studied in neuro-linguistic
Yes,
programming, that we always create pictures in our mind all the time, and sometimes we create scary pictures and then we can shrink them down, can't we can like imagine them changing into different colors or shrinking down to make them less scary. So like if you have a problem, you can actually shrink it down.
Well, that is one technique that is very helpful, actually. Yeah.
The amazing thing is that our brain is like, it can imagine whole scenarios. And if I read that book, my scenario in my head would be totally different to what you're imagining. So
Yes.
that's the beauty of it,
the
isn't
book,
it?
the beauty of actually reading a book is, well, that's why a lot of people, when they see the film version, they say, "Oh,
that's a shame."
that's not as good," because when you were reading it, you imagined it in a certain way, or you imagined that person to look like that. And then when you see it, and isn't it powerful how you can imagine it just by the written word?
Well, obviously they use a lot of description, but in the
Yeah.
end, it's up to us to make the pictures.
We-
We actually make pictures in our mind.
Yeah,
Of the scenarios,
we-
of the bedroom or wherever they are. The
Exactly.
countryside.
And those
the sun on
pictures
our
are
skin.
references that we already have. So
Yes.
if they say to somebody there was a frilly bedspread, you'll go back to think about a frilly bedspread that you might have seen somewhere in your life. And that frilly bedspread is going to be different to the one that somebody else is envisioning. Even though you might say the frilly bedspread had blue flowers on it, but my blue flowers are going to be different to your blue flowers. Anyway, the point
Well,
is...
I've got roses. What have you got?
Tulips. There you go. Yeah, I saw blue tulips just when I said that.
And when you said it to me, I saw blue roses.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so it's very powerful. And that is one simple thing that we have said, but also when you're going through, like when the character is experiencing feelings, heartbreak, whatever they're going through, you can experience them, and in a way it's
cathartic, isn't it? It's healing.
Yeah, it's healing. It's healing for you because you can see, wow, I mean, especially if they're like inspiring stories and the person, overcomes this and becomes even more powerful.
Well, usually they do. It's usually the hero's journey, isn't it? Where they have...
You're right. The hero's journey,
The protagonist has a problem.
Yes.
Gets over the problem, and then in the end they see the light, usually.
Yeah, they do.
No,
but
a lot of the times it's like that.
Whatever it is,
like most of the films you see like that.
Yeah. And there's more to be, that I sometimes, I used to think more, I'm wasting my time here watching these things. But now I find that I'm getting quite inspired by some of them.
Well, I get really inspired.
Yeah, like not just, even from comedies, for example.
Comedies are great.
They're great, yeah.
Well, first of all, they make you laugh, so they change your state, so they make you feel good.
And they're a lot deeper than what you think they are a lot of the time. Like The Big Bang Theory. Yes. Now I've just rewatched that again for about...
That's your favourite.
Yeah, about the third time. And every time I watch it, there's always some nuance. There's something subtle I learn about the various...
What about the young Sheldon? Wasn't that good?
Oh, that was brilliant. I love that as well. Yeah, that was really good. And his twin sister, and how the whole family had to evolve around the genius of the child, and how many families are like that when there is one person in that family that is particular, and how the sister gets kind of put to one side. But, it's kind of, the whole dynamics is very, very interesting. And that is classified as a comedy too.
True.
So true. So true, yeah. So real in the end.
Yeah.
It's like we can all see aspects of that in our real life and learn from it too. So, yeah, definitely. Now, at the moment, what have I just finished watching?
You just finished watching Ted Lasso.
Oh, yeah. You told me to watch that.
That was really good.
So, how were you inspired by that?
It's just about their lives, isn't it? I mean, about
all of
how
their
they
lives,
how they can make it, how
it's about footballers and this wonderful American coach.
The grief that she has at the beginning because her husband leaves, and how she wants
the manager
to seek revenge, but then in the end she realizes it's not important.
Who is she? She's like the manager of.
She's one of the main characters.
She's one of the main characters.
I can't remember what her name is.
No. This beautiful lady, and she owns the club, doesn't she? This football club, because it was given to her by her ex-husband who betrayed her, and then he cheated on her.
Young girl.
Oh yeah, and so then she wanted revenge, and
she wanted to make it fail, didn't she?
Yeah, she said, right, the whole club's going to fail, and she gets in this American coach,
the soccer coach, who doesn't know anything about English football.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting how much he cares though, and how he's so sweet to her.
His
attitude. He brings her biscuits every morning. The whole thing is really bizarre and unusual.
It's kind of quaint and cute, isn't it? It's a bit like, it's a bit stereotyped, like what England is supposed to be like, but there's a lot of
truth in it.
There's a lot of truth.
There is a lot of truth. Yeah. And there's a lot of truth in his side of the perspective as well.
He's also suffering a lot because he's left his wife behind, who divorced.
And he's suffering from panic attacks. So there's a lot to...
Yeah, and he's got therapy. He's identified with the therapist.
Yes. So there's a lot, yeah.
There's a lot you can identify with and learn from as well.
Yes.
And it's so well done as well. The acting is amazing.
Yes, it is. And you learn about the footballers' lives and...
And I think the same
their
goes
challenges.
With music as well. Music can inspire you so much. Your favourite singers.
Well, music is almost like instant. In 3 minutes, that's the average length of any song. You put a 3-minute song on and you will change your internal mental state. And your external one, because if it's something you want to, you might even cry if you feel emotional, or you might actually want to move and start dancing. And it's instant. Music is like, whoa, music goes fast into the brain. It's almost, I would say, music and a sense of smell are almost, probably, scientists will probably know exactly the time that they go in. But music is one of those things that, it gives you goosebumps, and it's fast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like that smell that you smell that you haven't smelled for a long time, a perfume of something. The roses, or cookie smell, or fresh home baked bread or something, whatever.
So we'd love to hear from you. So do text us and tell us what your favourite show that you are watching at the moment is, or your favourite song. And tell us if you agree that
there's something to be learned from these fiction and this imaginary world that we go into.
And maybe we shouldn't all feel so guilty about spending time on it. Including me. So give us a text, send us a text, and we look forward to reading them. Lots of love and smiles from the
English sisters. Bye.